I never donate to charity because I'd much rather buy expensive handbags. Hi YouTube, Autumn Beckman here. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. My channel is all about luxury on a budget, so if that sounds interesting to you, go ahead and subscribe, like the videos, and click that bell notification icon so you get notified when I post a new video. Me having expensive handbags is way more important than helping poor people. And it's not just me. Everybody who buys expensive handbags feels the same way. How do I know this? Because of all of the comments I've seen on my videos, on other people's videos, on Facebook groups that tell us to stop buying these bags and donate the money to charity. What they're saying is, if we have these bags, then we don't donate to charity. I mean, that's the logical conclusion, right? Okay, I'm gonna blow some minds here with this next bit of information. It actually is possible to buy expensive handbags and donate to charity. What? I know that's hard to believe. I'll give you a minute to process it. I see comments pretty often, like I said, on my channel, other people's channels, Facebook groups that talk about luxury handbags, other chat groups, where people say, instead of buying that expensive handbag, you should donate that money to charity. Or, you guys take handbags way too seriously. You shouldn't care how other people spend their money, so stop talking about it, but here's how you should spend your money. Don't spend it on handbags, donate it to charity. See the irony there? I also remember seeing a video a few years ago about a woman probably talking about expensive handbags, and she was talking about her father and saying that when he sees someone drive by in a fancy car like a BMW or Mercedes or something, he actually yells at them, yells at strangers, yells disparaging things because he thinks they should spend that money on charity instead of on their nice luxury cars. Same concept. The thing that confuses me about these comments is that the people writing them seem to think that buying expensive things and donating to charity are mutually exclusive, that you can't do both. But of course, they're not, and you can. And to those who say, well, we don't need the expensive handbags, you could get a cheaper handbag and donate however many thousands you were gonna spend on that expensive bag, donate that to charity instead. Well, first, you're clearly not into handbags the way most of the people watching this video are, and that's okay. Second, yes, we could forgo the expensive handbags and buy cheaper ones. They both carry our things. Just like you could get rid of all of your worldly possessions and all of your money, donate all of that to charity, and just live on the most basic things that you need to survive. Because it's the same thing, and if you're going to tell us to get rid of the handbags, where does it end? Of course, you won't get rid of all your things because you like having those extra things, just like we like having our handbags. They just happen to be something that each time we indulge in them, it costs us a few $100s, maybe a few $1,000s. But most of us only buy a couple of those things a year. So when you compare that to people who have hobbies and spend money on their hobbies, it often equals out. For example, I enjoy painting and photography, and I could easily spend what I spend on handbags in a year on painting and photography in a year. Some people enjoy scrapbooking or stamp collecting or sports or restoring vintage cars. All of these can be just as expensive, if not more, than buying a few handbags a year. They just don't have the stigma attached that some people place on luxury handbags. If you're one of the people that doesn't understand the draw to the luxury handbags and thinks they're a waste of money, or thinks that the people who buy them are just materialistic, that's fine. But I would invite you, before you make those judgments, and especially before you put your judgments out there toward other people you don't know, I would invite you to watch more of my videos or videos from another luxury YouTuber. Get to know us a little better. Get to know about the reasons that we like these bags so much, the ways we can justify the costs of them, and why we enjoy the bags so much. Because it's often not what you think. But back to donating to charity, and I'm going to use myself as an example here, and I'm not doing that to defend myself against these comments, and I'm definitely not doing it to say, you know, how great I am for what I have done charitably. I just want to give you an example of how wrong these assumptions are. And I know myself better than anyone else, so it's an easy example for me to use. For as long as I've been able to do so, I have been donating to charities or the less fortunate in some way, even when I really shouldn't, because I should have used that money for something that I needed. Almost all of the jobs I've had have been helping professions. I've worked in vet clinics helping animals. I worked at the Houston Zoo as an intern in an endangered species breeding program. I worked at Moody Gardens in Galveston as an animal keeper, taking care of the animals. And I'm currently a teacher. I teach art at a public school. I've also taught psychology when I was in grad school. I even taught people who were becoming teachers. And if any of you are thinking that jobs don't count as charitable work because you get a paycheck, I would say let's go back to those comments that people who buy luxury bags need to donate to charity. And I would say that the idea behind that is really that you need to be helping people less fortunate. And in helping professions, you definitely do that. They don't necessarily have to be less fortunate, but you're helping people, or you're helping animals, or you're helping make the world a better place somehow. So to me, working in a helping profession doesn't matter whether you receive a paycheck. It's the work that you're doing. And if you still feel the paycheck does matter, well, what about people that work in nonprofits? Doesn't it make sense that people who are making a positive difference in the world should be compensated for that? Shouldn't they be able to pay their bills too and make a decent living, enjoy their own lives, especially since they're helping other people, animals, the world to be better? Also, just a side note, personally, I think people who work in nonprofit and in helping professions, not to be like personally biased here too much, I think they should be compensated well. I've heard some people say that they don't want to donate to a charity because they don't want their money going to people's salaries. I can understand not wanting to donate to a charity if you know that the money is mismanaged, but I don't understand the part about not wanting to contribute to the salaries of people who are working for a charity that you support. That just doesn't compute with me. I think a charitable organization should be able to get the best people in, and the best people often require good compensation. But anyway, besides working and getting a paycheck for a helping profession, I have donated money, supplies, time to different organizations throughout my life. As far as money, I've made direct financial contributions to several different organizations, or to students or coworkers when there's some kind of need and a fund going around, or helping out family members when they need it. When I shop at PetSmart and Petco, when you're checking out, they ask if you want to make a donation. I always do. When I shop for groceries, my card for my different grocery stores is connected to a charity somehow. So when I swipe, a percentage of my sale goes to that charity. Same thing when I shop on Amazon. I always use Amazon Smile, and a percentage of most of the things that I buy goes to the charity that I've selected. As far as donating supplies, I've given supplies to needy students, to food banks, hurricane relief efforts, the Houston Area Women's Center. In fact, my Vlogmas, when I had the L'Occitane Advent calendar, I gave almost all of that, with the exception of maybe just one thing, actually. I think I kept one thing out of that whole box, and everything else went to the Women's Center. I've donated supplies to Goodwill every time we move, and then every time I do a cleaning, like a deep cleaning, get rid of things in the apartment. And I don't just give them junk, they get good stuff from us. Every Christmas, there are a few charities that I donate to specifically, usually Toys for Tots. And if I can find it, they've been harder to find. Angel trees, where you buy gifts for kids of certain ages and genders. And in Vlogmas this year, I did a 12 Days of Christmas, which encouraged people to donate to charities. And I haven't just done that in the Vlogmas, I've done that in the past on Facebook. And I've donated lots of supplies to different dog rescues. As far as donating time, I think that's the most valuable thing that you can donate. I volunteered on the domestic abuse hotline at the Houston Area Women's Center. I volunteered for 3 years at the Houston Zoo, and also for a bit at Moody Gardens. At Moody Gardens, I helped raise the penguins for the aquarium pyramid. And at the zoo, I did zookeeper duties, cleaning up after the animals, but I also was able to work with some of the conservation and many other things. I've donated a lot of time to dog rescues, whether I'm working an event. I actually have an event tomorrow to go volunteer with, or taking photos of rescue dogs. I've taken photos of hundreds of rescue dogs that are professional photos, cute, dress them up a little bit, and that helps them get adopted a lot faster. And it actually works. It's amazing. I'm in Houston, and after Hurricane Harvey, I volunteered for several months with Best Friends Animal Sanctuary. They came down here and set up a hurricane relief and pet reunion center area They had over 300 dogs at this facility. They also had some cats and a bunny, but I worked with the dogs. I took a few photos for them, but mostly I was scrubbing poop out of cages and giving the dogs food and walking them. And these were all animals that were found after the storm and the flood. I've also adopted or helped my family adopt 8 different dogs. And again, I do not say all that to brag about everything I've done. I'm just giving you an example here. Because guess what? All that charity work and donations that I just listed, I actually did those things, and I still buy expensive handbags. And I'm not the only person capable of doing both of those things. Shocking, I know.